Property Patriot, you are cleared hot.
Welcome to the AMI Podcast. This is your host, Bud Evans, and today I'm joined by Ian Horowitz. Since his first rental property purchase in 2012, Ian's broadened his involvement in real estate with property flipping, providing housing for subsidized tenants, and now he works actively in self-storage and multifamily. Currently, Ian and his team own and operate about $70 million in real estate. He's excited that he's earned his retirement from firefighting to be fully engaged with his family and the company he co-founded with Daniel Mathie, Equity Warehouse. Ian's a licensed private pilot and enjoys his free time in the skies. The key takeaways from this episode include the importance of betting on oneself, leveraging commercial real estate for growth, and maintaining financial responsibilities despite increasing wealth. Ian emphasizes the motivational aspects of providing for his family and the impact of his work on employees' lives. Hear about all that and more where we provide real estate investors with the tools to achieve generational wealth. This is the Aim High Podcast, show number 70. Hello and welcome to the Aim High Podcast. I'm your host, Bud Evans. Today I'm joined by Ian Horowitz. Hi, Ian. How you doing, man?
Good. What's up, brother? I'm excited to be on. Just found out we're neighbors, and I don't know if you're ready for it, but at the time of this recording, it's about to snow again. Like you're so close to getting out of it. But either way, I'm excited to be talking to you here before it snows.
Hey, likewise. Ian, I know a lot about you. Would you do me a favor and give me a brief introduction, please?
Yeah. So my name's Ian Horowitz with Equity Warehouse. We currently own and operate about a $70 million portfolio of assets, primarily concentrated in self-storage and multifamily. However, we are opportunistic investors and have owned and will own in all asset classes.
Awesome. So you and I had a conversation offline, but I'm just going to ask you, how did you get into real estate?
Yeah. So we were just talking about it. We have similar first responder backgrounds, and we were discussing how you got started. And for us, it was, me and my business partner wanted to be big city firemen, and we were chasing our dreams. And long story short, we end up down in Baltimore City. If you ever watched The Wire, that's where we worked. If you watch the riots that happened, that's where we worked, in the heart of West Baltimore, in the bad of the bad. But we wanted to be firemen. If you're going to be a fireman, go do fireman stuff. So we had the opportunity to do our job at a high level. But there was one issue. We got hired in 2007 and 2008. We all know what happens shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
We're getting furloughed. Pension systems all across the country are going bankrupt, like in Detroit and California, and private industries like Bethlehem Steel, like pension systems just wiped out. And we don't pay Social Security. That was our retirement. Side by side with that, you have Obamacare, company closures, all these different things are just happening all at once. And I'm like, wait a second. I left to go chase my dream job. In exchange for less money, I want job security. And I don't even know that job security is here in a major metropolitan department. This is insanity. And then, as it would have it, your wife at that age wants to have kids and all this other stuff. You're like, dude, how am I going to afford this? I don't want my kids to be in daycare. And I just kept thinking, I was like, what could I do while I'm at work, while I'm asleep at work? If I have a horrible night, how can I make money? And I just kept going back to rental properties. And another big thing for me was, in our line of work, you could be dead like tomorrow. Like you could go to work and not come home. You could go to work and be incapacitated for the rest of your life. And the thought of having an operating business like a landscaping company or a construction company and leaving that to your wife to undo that mess. I was going to curse, but I tried not.
Oh, good, man. I understand the terminology.
Unfuck your mess when you're not here. Exactly. It's how do you do that? And I was like, I can't imagine. But if I had a rental property and God forbid something happened, she can continue to take their cash flow and then sell it off at a later date. She can get a property management company, sell it off at later dates. The family's taken care of at that point. We started in single family. The very first house I did was a Section 8 rental, and that's what got me hooked. My business partner, side by side with that, he started wholesaling. Yes, we were childhood friends, but we both took different paths, and he started wholesaling, and that's really how we got our start, man. Just the simplest of simple. And when I'm talking we're talking, and we can get into it in a second, but my first house cost me $20,000 to buy. We're talking like bottom of the barrel. That's how we got our started. And that's why we got started, because we kept saying there's got to be a better way. Even though we've chased our dream, there's still a better way. The grass is greener on the other side. There's something better out there for me. And I don't know that this is my end destination.
Yeah. I understand the feeling. That partner, that was Daniel?
Yeah. Yep. Dan.
Okay.
Yep.
And you guys have been together since.
Yep. We've been together since. In 2014, we joined forces, and he had a 4-property package that he wanted to wholesale off. And 2 of the houses were turnkey rentals, and I knew some turnkey buyers. So we wholesaled those 3 houses off, 2 turnkeys, 1 wholesale. And then he's like, hey, I want to flip the 4th house. And I said, no, sure, why not? So we flipped the house. And mind you, up to that point, I had 10 rentals, never had flipped the house. And I was like, sure, why not, dude? And we flipped that. We made well over 6 figures on that 4-property package. It was like, dude, that was cool. We got to do it again. Took about 6 months to find another deal. Did that next deal. And then after that, we're like, yeah, we made money again. Let's just go do that. Let's join forces and go do this and go kill. And our wives are friends. And as we started having kids, our lives became very intertwined, and off we went. And that's the growth that we had.
Yeah. Now, let's go through your first deal real quick, because I'd love to talk about what's going on now and all that stuff. But I know that you're moving into self-storage and multifamily, but let's go over that first single family deal.
Yeah. So the first deal, it was actually interesting how it came about, because like I knew I wanted to do this. I had started reading all the books. We're talking 2012, a little bit pre-YouTube University. Blogs are still popular. So I'm reading the blogs. I'm reading books, consuming content wherever I can. And I kept stumbling on subsidized housing. And for me, it was, I want to get paid. I don't want to go through the eviction process. I don't want a bad tenant. I don't want the horror stories. We see that when we're going in some of these houses. You're like, dude, look at this slumlord. Look at this tenant taking advantage. So I knew it from the inside out. And a friend of mine at work at the fire department was like, hey, man, I know you're interested in real estate. You want to go to a real estate meeting? I said, sure. So we went. Turns out it was more one of those like Ponzi, like selling electric pyramid schemes. I was like, dude, I'm out. But there was another dude in the room that had well over 200 rentals, all Section 8. I was like, this is the dude I needed to talk to. And as well as I know, the one thing good about first responders, they know how to enjoy themselves in certain environments. And I said, hey, man, you want to go grab a beer? And we went out and had more than one beer. I'll keep it rated G. But we had several beers and a really good conversation. At the end of the night, he said, anything, let me know. And I said, okay. And me just being like naive, I was like, hey, man, like I'm really interested. Calls me a few weeks later, show me around. He's like, I got this house. If you want to buy it, let me know. And I had no clue what wholesaling was. I had no clue about anything. I had $15,000 to my name. My credit score was sub 600. I had all the issues, and I just said, F it. I got a hard money loan at 16 and 6. I paid $20,000. I fixed it up. I can't say I did everything right, but I was out there doing the demo. I was out there doing the plumbing. I was out there working, and I used guys where I thought, like sheetrock, I had to get a sheetrocker. But there were certain things I paid for and did, and certain things that I had other people do. But fast forward, we get it completed. I'm in maybe, I don't know, 50, 60 grand. The books weren't what they are today. I got a $1,250 rent from a subsidized program. And that first check hit, got $1,250, netted out my cash flow. It was like $600. I was like, dude, it was like crack to me, dude. I was like, yo, I need to do this because, yeah, dude, think about it. Overtime shift for me, I'm barely at top pay in the fire department. An overtime shift for me, I don't even make $600. I'm doing that with one house. I'm like, I don't have to work overtime. I don't have to work swaps. I don't have to do any of this stuff to make money. I'm not selling my soul anymore. And very quickly, 6 months later, in that same neighborhood, I bought another one, same metrics, and that was it, man. And that was the first deal. So that was, would I buy it today? I don't know. It's in a little bit rougher neighborhood. It's not like I'm scared to go there, but it's like just the asset classes as we moved up. I don't know that I'd buy that same deal today, but to get started, that was the deal that I could afford to do, to take the risk, to be successful, to get me where I am today.
And we were just talking about, just came out of a marketing meeting. We were talking about risk versus reward. Some of the places I invest in Trenton. So I understand exactly what you're talking about when we started talking about that, but the affordable housing programs that are out there they're great. It's just you got to get past the bureaucracy and all that stuff, but they're very lucrative and they cash flow very well.
Yeah. Politically, I might not believe in it, but in the same sense, they are, if you really believe at it in the core level. And if you've already guessed, I've only pulled the right side of a lever, and I'll tell anybody this, but it's, if you really get down, so like my second tenant ever, and this is what really changed my mind on it. At first I was like, if you beat them, join them. So I took that premise for a while, but then my second tenant, he came from Prisoner's Aid, and his house was the cleanest effing house I've ever seen in my life. Always spotless. And finally, I had about 10 houses at this point. I said, hey, Mr. Carroll, I said, your house is always so clean. Your rent's always on time. What's up, dude? I was like, you need to teach my other tenants. He's like, yeah, go live in a 8x10 cell for 5 years. You will never give up this opportunity ever again. And him helping, like seeing the help that he got and the reward, and him eventually getting a job and weaning himself off the program, that's powerful stuff. And I'll tell you right now, there's deadbeats, whether they pay cash or they use the program. Just it might be more prevalent in the program than it is with your cash tenants, because you're vetting a little more in a different way. I will say that some of the programs do actually help people reacclimate, but you get pieces of crap, whether it's cash tenants or affordable housing tenants. So it just is what it is, and you got to roll with the punches.
Yeah, man. Was your worst deal one of those as well? Was it a Section 8 or was it something else?
No, I would actually say our worst deal was more in partnerships, and it's not like a cop out, but I think it's something worth talking about. So we had done a few flips. At this point, maybe we've done about 20 flips. We had maybe 15 rentals between mine and what Dan had. And we went out and we wanted to get money. So I went to a guy that I knew to get $1 million. And I was like, all right, cool, man, let's do this. And we had some success, but then the partnership fell apart because like we're really fast. Like we got to go. And I just feel like other people don't move the same way we did. And we didn't get our learning lesson on that one. And then I went to another guy that I knew, and he helped us get some bank structure financing. He was a securities attorney, raised a bunch of capital for us, but his deal structure was so convoluted. The way he worked, his goals, because he was later on in life, he was almost 60 at that point. His goals were way different than me and Dan. Me and Dan are trying to go lightning fast, selling houses and getting it done. And he's like, all right, don't worry about it. I'm like, no, dude, we got to go. And it wasn't his priority. It was our priority every day. And really the worst deal we did was having partners that weren't aligned with what we believed in. And it really derailed our operation. We did get some scale and learn a lot. There just was like that disconnect that it made it tough some days. And the day we cut that partnership tie, we almost doubled the next day. You know what I mean? Like it was actually handcuffing us because we put getting money up on a pedestal and never trusted ourselves. And it was like, all right, man, this guy can get our money. He'll do this. He'll do that, blah, 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 blah. And it was like, nah, dude, we just deferred what we really needed to do to later on. And it actually caused more issues and probably slowed us down for a few years. And that was probably the worst deal that we did, was the partnership structure that we had on that portfolio of properties.
Yeah. I teach my students find the funding first and then find the deal. There are a lot of people that say find the deal and the money will follow, but it's not always the case. You're always scrambling, and that can put you in a bad place.
Let's take a quick break.
Are you looking to fine-tune your real estate journey? Welcome to the REI Roundtable, your gateway to real estate success. Led by industry veterans Bud Evans and Jen Josie, this accountability group is dedicated to helping real estate investors like you smash through your annual goals. With our unique approach, we break down your big ambitions into manageable, weekly, bite-sized targets, ensuring you stay on track and motivated. Whether you're looking to expand your portfolio, increase your returns, or simply get more disciplined in your investment journey, the REI Roundtable is here to guide you every step of the way. Join us and let's turn those real estate dreams into concrete achievements. Your path to real estate mastery starts here. Check the link in the description to sign up for the REI Roundtable now.
It's a seesaw. And we still do it today, even at scale, right? Like our last deal we did was $6 million. I found 4 properties. I knew how much money I had in the wings, but then I still had to go raise money to go be able to go get more deals. It's like seesaw. And I don't disagree about going to find the money. Like you need to have the financial wherewithal to go do a deal. Equally as important, you need a really good deal to go do it. And if you have a really good deal, it will find you, but it's a seesaw because you go out and raise a bunch of money. hey, bud, like I got $1 million. Okay. Now you got to go be able to do $1 million of deals. Now you did $1 million of deals. You want to be able to do $3 million of deals. Now you need $2 more million, and you just go up the ladder. Yeah, man, you need to figure out what you need. And for us, we had deal flow. We needed capital, and we went out and found the capital. Was it the best capital source? No, but it allowed us to go execute hundreds of deals to then allow us to learn, to go build a book of business, to then go show our friends and family, to allow us to buy the commercial assets that we own today. So there's a silver lining in the bad.
Yeah, I'm tracking that. And then, yeah, what normally I would ask, hey, what do you got going on right now? But I know you're already making that move to the commercial space and the self-storage unit. How did that transpire?
Yeah. So in that partnership, we grinded out. We wound up having almost 100 rentals between ourselves and that partnership. It was almost split down the middle. And it backed us in between flipping houses and building this rental portfolio. It backed us into 2018, 19, early 20. We just got priced out of the market. And the fun thing about single family is it's action all the time. Deal. Let's go. Stuff starts to wear on you a little bit. If you're not watching on video, I have no hair and a gray beard. It wears on you, right? And it was like, dude, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way to apply our skill sets of construction and raising capital. What value do we bring? And another thing that I would say side by side with that is I took advantage of the 24 hours that I had to go to work in the middle of the night, exactly where that CVS burned to the ground. If you ever watched the riots in Baltimore, we would go take medic runs there in the middle of the night. I was on my phone out there looking at other people's deals. How do they structure them? How are they raising capital for these multifamily deals? I don't understand it. I can't figure it out. I'd call sponsors like, hey, I'm interested in investing in your deal. And they explain it to you and you're like, okay, how's this work? And you would go back and try to re-underwrite their deals. And YouTube University is a little more popular now. And then I'd just start underwriting broker deals and just working through them over and over again. And then what happened was we picked up a 7-unit apartment building and we were scared. This is hilarious. We're scared to death. We own almost 100 rentals. We're scared to death to do a 7-unit building that we buy for $450,000 that needs maybe $100,000 of work, and we're flipping out. Meanwhile, we got 15 open projects on the other side because we're so scared. We were scared of doing surveys and environmentals and getting the financing for it. We just put this thing on a pedestal, and we shouldn't have. But we buy the 7-unit building. 7 units turns into a 6,000 square foot industrial site. That turns into 34-unit building. That turns into a 76-unit building. And it just progressed. And it was like, damn, dude, I did all that work for this $5 million 76-unit apartment building that I did for that one deal was the same amount of work that 100 deals I did in the last year. And I was like, yo, that's nice. And we just slowly transitioned over, and it was a natural progression. And we just we had success with it. And it was trial. It was trying it. It was underwriting it. It was testing against it. I tell people all the time is like, go see what we're doing. Go log into our investor portal. Look at the pro formas that I'm putting together and see if you were buying that deal. Would you put that same deal together? Because it's a great place to test your pro forma against the deal that we're looking at. And that's how we did it. And I would suggest everybody to do it. And I would tell everybody, if you're thinking about getting into commercial, do it sooner than later. Don't wait. Just go do it and you'll figure it out. And it will be life-changing for you.
Yeah, I know we waited until later on, and now all of a sudden now I can't wait for the next one to come along. Simply because it's the same amount of work and you're exponentially growing. So fantastic.
Yeah, the wealth creation is exponential compared to a single family. You can only buy so many single families to get the same yield, right? Yeah. There's also the component of you're getting values on NOI. So if you execute your business plan, you could get higher than comps because the NOI says that's true. Versus you buy a single family house, and let's just say it's a row home. This is the easy example. And either house on side of you sold for $150, but yet your NOI says it should be $200,000. You're probably only going to get a $150 or $160 because no appraiser is going to hang their head out there to say, yeah, that thing is worth $200 because you are getting insane rents. And that's some of the problems with Airbnb, right? You're getting outsized rents. People want outsized prices for them. but you can't get the financing to match it because you're not getting NOI basis. You're only getting what the market allows you to get. So they're all things to think about. And I think there's a lot of opportunity in the commercial space to grow your wealth at an exponential rate compared to the single family space.
Yeah. Let's talk about equitywarehouse.com. Can you give me a breakdown on that?
Yeah. So equitywarehouse.com, what we do is we literally just show case studies to our friends and family, or how our friends and family co-invest and co-lend to us. And really what it is, as you guys get into more raising capital, you'll see that it's not about selling. As soon as you try to hard sell someone, it's, oh, you're selling me, I'm out, versus saying, I just want to educate you. And that's really what it is. For me, it's a lead funnel for us to educate people on exactly what we do and how we structure deals. So if I left this podcast and you're like, oh, what do you have? Like when you jump on a podcast, you're like, hey, do you have a lead magnet? I have a lead magnet. Just go see what we do and you can learn about everything we do. And those that want to take away how we do deals, great. Those who want to invest with us, great. Those who want to see what the heck we're up to, great. You're on my email distribution list. And for me, it's all in one. I don't need to write a white paper and this and that and the other thing. And really, it's just a way for us to communicate with people what deals we do, how we do them, and stay in touch with everybody at the masses.
Then you also have the podcast, right? Real Estate Reserve.
Yeah, we have a podcast, Real Estate Reserve podcast. I co-host it with a friend of mine, Jason Balin. He's one of our capital investors, but he also runs a hard money company. And he's the one that had him and his business partner taught Dan and I how to raise capital. They've raised almost $50 million of private capital. And we borrowed from them early on. And then that relationship just built and got stronger and stronger to the point where we were able to do deals together. And then we built the show because the same reason you do it. You just want to hear from real people doing real deals. And it's educating people. I just want to tell you, hey, this is what Bud's doing. This is what Ed's doing. This is what this guy's doing. Go learn about it because there's so many ways to make money in real estate. You need to pick what you resonate or who you resonate with and go follow that path.
Yeah. Good point. Which brings me to my next question. What is one thing that you learned as your wealth increased?
You can easily spend as much as when you were broke, right? Everyone's like, oh, if I just had all this money, I wouldn't be broke. And it's funny because we always joke about it. And it's, as your wealth grows, you still have a responsibility to be fiscally responsible. And I see so many guys make a bunch of money and they go buy the whatever cars, Lamborghinis and Ferraris, or they start dressing really nice. Dude, literally, you'll find me and Dan every day in hoodies and shorts. Yeah. Dan wears workout clothes all the time because he loves powerlifting. I wear a hoodie and shorts. That's my jam. And that's it, dude. Like nothing has changed for us. Like my business partner still drives a 2005 Dodge Ram. I drive a car with a bunch of high miles on it. I have no desire to go trade it in. It's not our jam. We enjoy creating the wealth for our family and being financially responsible. A lot of people talk about family offices. We view ourselves as our own family office. We are generating wealth for our own family in the best tax advantage way we can see. And that's the way we understand that we are fiduciaries of our family's financial success.
That's awesome. I literally just sold my 2016 Audi. We had a little bit of problems and bought a used car. I bought it.
Yep.
I bought it. Exactly. Because be financially responsible. You let somebody else take the loss and I'll buy it when you're done with all the depreciation.
Yep, exactly. And you still get the same tax benefit, whether it's brand new or it's used with a few miles on it. Who cares, right? If you're buying the vehicle that meets the weight requirement, you can depreciate it immediately. Who cares how many miles it has on that point? A lot of people get caught up in that was another wealth thing, is people get caught up, oh, I got to do this for taxes. I'm like, I don't even know what that means, dude. I'm here to if I got to pay taxes, I hate to pay it to this current president, but if I'm going to pay taxes, it means I made money and I did the best that I can. I'm not here to screw the government over as much as I don't believe in it. But you know what? It's a part of life. It is what it is. That means you made money and you should be celebrated that you've done that. Now, I hate paying the tax bill, but it means you're doing something right.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. And we're going to jump into the soaring four. These are the same 4 questions that I ask every guest that can help someone who's just starting out achieve new heights. First question is, what do you use to keep you motivated?
Much probably like many of your other guests, it's the family, dude. It's the drive. That's probably my number one motivator. But another motivator side by side with that, the family is just more than just me. The motivation is watching our project manager, our employees have success. We have a lot of employees that came from recovery or they've come from bad situations and they're able to buy vehicles, start a family, get married, have healthcare, like something that they can never imagine. That's more powerful to me. And that's what motivates me. It's more than just Dan and I and our families. It's all of us. And when I look at our 15 employees, dude, we're responsible. Times that by 4. If everyone has wife and kids, we're responsible for 60 human beings at any given time. That's wild to me, dude. It is wild to me to think what we're responsible for. And we almost, when I left as a lieutenant in the fire department, it was like I was responsible for individuals and making sure they didn't get killed. And that was only 4 of them or 3 of them, plus myself. Now I'm responsible for 60 people. And it's just wild for me to think what we're responsible for. And it motivates me every day to get up and go.
And that's a great perspective. I look at the people that work, I call them work with me as opposed to work for me, but I look at them and I look at them. You looking at them plus whoever they're supporting as well. That's a unique perspective. I'm going to have to.
Yeah. You know, when you start providing healthcare and that healthcare bill comes in, I'm like, holy crap, how is it so much? And then they're like, oh, Ryan has 3 kids and a wife, and Dan has 3 kids and a wife, and Andrew has a wife and 2 kids. I'm like, oh my God, like that's when it hit me when we started paying for healthcare. I was like, holy crap, dude. That blew my mind. So
what is one thing that you learned that completely changed your mindset?
I'll give you a little statement for those that are thinking about getting started or thinking about quitting your job. We were several years in. We probably just bought our first multifamily deal. We're probably a couple hundred units in. And I was debating about quitting, and it was an identity crisis, right? Like all I wanted to do was be a fireman. I wanted to be a 30-year fireman. You know, we come out of the 9/11 era, right? Like you saw 9/11, oh yeah, I would be a fireman, like the FDNY and all this other crap. And I couldn't imagine doing any other job. And then I was like, shit, I want to quit. And my buddy kept challenging me. He's like, what, you don't want to bet on yourself? And I was like, dude, you just crushed me, dude. And that mindset wasn't like necessarily like a direct mindset change. It was the question that became like, you don't want to bet on yourself. And the day I quit the fire department and Dan quit the fire department, we tripled our business over the next 12 months. And that was probably one of the most powerful statements that I always go back and look at as an inflection point that I was like, God damn, dude, that was such a powerful rhetorical question that like, it's mind blowing to think. And now when I hear other people debating about quitting their jobs, it's like, oh yeah, you don't want to bet on yourself. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't you bet on yourself? And it's more risky to bet on your employer than it is to bet on yourself.
Yeah. When it comes down to it, they don't care about your family as much as you do.
Just a number in the system. I broke my ankle. That's what pushed me out eventually. I broke my ankle in an alley on a fire on a Friday night in the springtime in the city. And as I step in this hole, my ankle snaps. I'm looking at one side, I'm looking at a pile of human shit, and I'm looking at drug needles on the other side. And I'm just saying to myself, don't fall. And I get out to the wagon and I look at my ankle and it's just huge. And I was like, oh, dude, I need a medic. And they're like, all right, they call a medic. Dude, this thing's hurting bad, dude. And it's probably 25 minutes. It took 25 minutes for them to get a medic to me to then get me to, I haven't even gotten to the hospital yet. Like just for a medic to get on scene to come and get me, one of our own. And I was like, dude, what if I was really actually fucked up, dude? That was scary. And that's when it was like, man. And then like you go through the whole protocol. You're just a number, this, that, and the other thing. My brother breaks his back. I miss an appointment at the city doctor. They're trying to fire me all of a sudden because my brother has a broken. I'm like, dude, you people are wild. Dude. You talk about family and taking care of your own. And then here you are. You're nothing more than just a number in the system. Okay, 285. He's got a broken ankle. He probably ain't coming back. We need to replace him. Oh, by the way, 285 is a lieutenant. He makes this much money. We can save it. We can hire 2 to 1 on that. And it's, dude, this is nothing more than corporate America. And I'm glad. I miss the guys betting on ourselves. I feel much more comfortable every day. I just say, just need to make another $1 to stay unemployed. That's it.
Man, I can fully relate. I'll talk to you offline about that one, but I can definitely relate with that.
Yeah.
What tools do you use to keep you on track?
Yeah, tools to keep me on track really is more that every week we do a weekly meeting. That's probably our number one tool tracking system. Other than that, it's our property management software and our communication devices. That's what keeps us on track on a daily basis. From that standpoint, personally, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm not super organized when it comes to some of this stuff. I have my routine that I like to get up and do. I try to hit the gym every day, even though I don't lose weight. But you know what? It's a place to just go and clear your mind. And that's what matters. And that's what keeps me on track. My business partner is much more into the routine of making sure he hits the gym. He competes powerlifting and it keeps his diet on point. But that's what makes him tick. Whatever makes you tick, that's what you need to keep on track.
Yeah, fully agree with that one. And last one, what is one thing you would change if you had to start all over?
One thing to change if I were to start all over is I would have, what I just told you, I would have bet on myself earlier, bet on ourselves earlier, and I probably would have tackled commercial real estate at a sooner time. I probably could have probably would have helped us forego some of the relationships that we had, from capital to stressful relationships. But if we would have taken that step sooner, who knows where we would be. But then again, there's a case to be had that we weren't mature enough at the time. So I would go back and tell myself, hey, you have this feeling, go bet on yourself and go do commercial real estate sooner would be the two things that I would suggest to everyone.
Awesome. And I appreciate your time today. Thank you very much. If anyone wants to get in touch with Ian, his information will be in the show notes, and definitely check out equitywarehouse.com.
Yeah, man.
Sorry, go ahead, man.
No, I was going to say, yeah, man, thanks for having me. I didn't know if I was able to say bye, but thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Look, man, I look at it this way. It's your show, right? All I'm doing is providing a little bit of value and putting the vehicle out there so that you can tell everybody what you do and maybe get them to learn and just provide that value.
Hell yeah, man. Hopefully we help someone out, and appreciate you challenging me on those good questions.
Yeah, thank you very much, man. Until next time, this is Bud Evans, Aim High. Thanks for being a part of the Aim High community. Your support drives us to create valuable content, and we can't wait to see your success stories in real estate investing. Till next time, aim high, never stop learning. Bud Evans signing off. We'll see you soon.